Hello, my name is Caitlin. I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. What brings you in today?
I think I have a problem with drinking.
Okay, we can definitely talk about that. I did want to let you know that anything you do say here is private. But I do want to let you know that I am a mandated reporter, so if you do express any intent to hurt yourself or others, I would have to report that, but anything outside of that does remain confidential.
Okay.
Okay, so you say you're having a hard time with drinking. Can you tell me a little bit about what led you to seek help for it?
Oh, a lot of reasons. Just the culmination of some terrible events. But I'm worried that I'm getting to a point where I'm going to ruin a lot of things in my life, and I need I need help outside of myself. I can't do it on my own.
Okay. So you say that you feel like you're heading down a road to where a lot of things in your life could potentially be ruined. Let me have you expand on that.
Oh well. My job is a big thing. Obviously, it takes up a lot of my time. It's something I'm passionate about, but I'm not putting my best foot forward, and I know that.
Okay.
Getting walked all over because I don't have the energy or desire to stand up for myself. I kind of always have one foot out the door, if that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense, and that's understandable. Um, so you don't feel like you're really reaching your full potential at work.
Uh, yeah, not at all. I'm a hard worker. I never say no to a task, never say no to a challenge, but you know, when you're in a career path, there are other things to consider, and it's those things that I'm not giving myself a chance to really thrive because I just can't wait to get home and start drinking.
Okay. When you say, um, so you say you don't feel like you're putting your best foot forward, in order to be able to fully thrive at your job. How is alcohol specifically impacting that?
I guess because I kind of revolve my day around it. Um, I want to go home, I want to drink. I stay up as late as I think I can get away with drinking. And then I get up and, of course I don't feel great. So naturally I'm just spending, I'd say, half of the day recovering, trying to worry about, giving my body what it actually needs. And then the second half of the day is like, okay, like, let's wrap this up. I want to go home. I want to drink.
Okay, so that's where the having one foot in the door, one foot out the door comes into play.
Yes.
What did your life look like before you started drinking heavily?
Not too different, to be honest, but the time management, I'd say, was better.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I would prioritize the things that were most important and impactful to me, whether it was work or work relationships. Yeah, I made much more time for that. And now the only reason I would make time for it is if someone wants to go out, for a drink or something, right? Or if there's a work party, of course I'm going to be the first one there, last one to leave, but well, that's because I want to enjoying myself as much as I can, but I'm not necessarily trying to make any kind of impression on people. I'm just trying to have a good time,
Yeah.
which is that's a young man's game.
Okay. What things in your life have you given up in order so you can drink?
I guess it's really hard to pinpoint, the way things just change as you grow older, but certainly just less time on other things. Financially, sure, yeah, I spend more money on alcohol than anything else. So in a way, I'm denying myself other hobbies or whatever the case may be. But
Okay. So you have struggled financially, you've struggled with work. What impact has alcohol had on your personal relationships?
a great deal. Um, I can embarrass myself and wake up next morning feeling okay. I don't lose any sleep over it, but it's kind of the point where I'm embarrassing my friends and my family.
Okay. So you're drinking, you don't feel like you are putting your best foot forward when you drink. It is impacting the way that you look at yourself and how others see you.
Oh, certainly. I've had my friends, not so much my family. They're a little closed off. They just want to try to support me and hope I make the best decisions. But my friends definitely have had more than one conversation with me about my behavior when I drink the way that I do in excess. And yeah, I know they're not going to keep putting up with it. They've shown me that they're not going to keep putting up with it. And certainly, they've been my friends for a long time. I don't want to lose them.
Yeah. Yeah, that I can understand that. That's a scary thought. They have brought up to you that it might be an issue, the drinking particularly. What are some things that you feel like you would gain by getting sober?
Well, certainly financially it would be better, but I believe that, yeah, not only my professional relationships, but my personal relationships would all be better off if I could really be there and present when we're either, getting together or whatever the case. There's that belief that if I have more energy, more thought to put towards those relationships, that they would just become infinitely better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you feel like in the current situation, alcohol is impeding on that.
Yes.
Okay. What does your support system look like in regards to quitting alcohol? I know that you said that your friends have made some comments, but what is your support system as a whole look like?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by support system. Like, my friends and family always support good decisions that I make.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends are, definitely more willing to chastise the bad decisions that I make. but as far as not drinking, yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, because I've never seen it. If I've never been sober, never tried to be sober, I don't know what that would look like. I would believe that they would support me. To what end, I couldn't say.
Okay, so this would be the first time that you would have to rely or bring a problem such as this to your friends or family.
Yes.
Okay. I only ask because, you know, some some families have a culture of drinking, and, you know, some individuals, when they have a desire to enter into sobriety, they don't always feel they can be honest with everybody around them, which is fine. I always encourage individuals trying to get sober, you know, to go at their own pace, be as comfortable as they can. But that was why I asked about support system, if it was an encouraging environment, or if, you know, you felt like you might get some grief for not drinking. But it sounds like you do have a pretty good support system between your friends and your family. I did want to know a little bit about any kind of like mental health factors. Can you describe this the state of your, like, what does the state of your mental health look like right now?
I mean, I think for the most part pretty good. I don't get too hung up on a lot of things. You know, even with the drinking, I don't necessarily feel bad about it every day.
Okay.
I just do really stupid things sometimes.
Okay.
You know, that, and I might not even remember them, but when I hear about them, then yeah, right, it gives me that time to reflect and really kind of puts it to the forefront of, you know, hey, that's not cool, and you don't even remember it. But overall, I think, yeah, the mental health, my state of mind is still good.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's encouraging. When it comes to, you know, doing things that you may not remember, how does that contribute to anxiety?
In my case, I don't feel that it does.
Okay.
I guess I'm just not a forward thinker like that. I don't worry about the next time that I drink that I'm gonna black out and I'm gonna forget what stupid things I say or what I do that, you know, make me anxious just, you know, the day after or whatever the case may be.
Okay, so you're describing where you're at mentally as more of here and now versus, as you put it, future thinking.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think it would take to initially just achieve a period of sobriety?
I'd say a form of discipline. I would need to probably try to fill my time doing something else, but generally I think that if I just had the discipline to not drink, then eventually other things would just happen naturally.
Okay. Can you describe your overall relationship with alcohol? Yeah, I would just like to know how your relationship with alcohol is impacting, like outside of work, but what's, like the frequency, the quantity, the overall relationship.
I mean, I guess the quantity, I always have enough of it, is I guess the most direct way to say it. I don't necessarily try to drink a certain amount or, feel like it's a challenge. Like I have to be the one that drinks the most kind of
Okay.
thing. But I make sure I have enough and I drink my fill. That
Okay.
can look different from day to day, but
It's always accessible.
yeah. Oh yeah, I make it accessible.
Okay. What actions have you taken in the past, if any, to either quit entirely or cut down?
I've made no effort to quit. I've never,
Okay.
even now, I don't think that I've ever quit drinking entirely. I've tried cutting down before, but it's pretty easy to celebrate a Friday or a whatever day that, I'll just go back overboard. Next thing I know, I'm stumbling around and blacked out,
Okay.
making a fool of myself.
So you have made efforts in the past to at least cut down, but you always wind up kind of back where you started.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stated that you believe that you would need more discipline to initially establish sobriety, which, I mean, for somebody in your position, who I admire the fact that you do, want to quit. There are so many tools that can be used to help you achieve sobriety, which we can certainly get more into. There's a lot of things available: support systems, support groups, different coping mechanisms, things like that. Let me ask you a more forward-thinking question. What do you think it would take to maintain sobriety once you've achieved it?
Oh, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. As I previously said, I don't know that I would, and I don't believe that I'll quit drinking entirely. So to maintain sobriety is, almost a trick question to me. I guess what I would be looking for is to regain control.
Okay.
It's right. It's one thing to, drink at your friend's wedding, kind of thing. It's an entirely other thing to be like, oh well, it's Thirsty Thursday,
Yeah.
so I might as well get hammered up. This Friday is not going to be a very productive day at work anyway.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so control is really the defining factor for you. It's something that you have lost, but do you think that you would be able to potentially regain?
I hope so. I guess that's why I would be seeking help, is because doubt is starting to creep in that I don't believe that I can do it.
Okay.
I still hope I can, but
Okay. So your level of self-confidence right now in achieving and maintaining sobriety is low.
yes.
Okay. Well, we can certainly, like I said, we can introduce you to some techniques. We'll be checking in on your progress. And you can let me know if there's anything you need. But I just wanted to get to know you a little bit and kind of see the big picture of your situation, where you're at now, where you want to go. We'll certainly continue working together, and we'll talk about your progress.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for seeing me.
No problem.